I've got an insane one for you today. So much stuff to unbox, so many goodies, and it's been piling up for like probably over a month at this point. I have not opened so many of these, and I cannot wait to finally do so. So, without further ado, the first one that I've already opened. But I think we have 9 boxes here, 8 boxes. I have some more on the way. A massive one that I was really hoping would be here, but it stopped up in Germany, which I cannot wait to share with you guys. But, that being said, first thing is going to be, it's already out, you already know, my Halloween stamped Romans. I love how this came out. We wanted to go, obviously, Roman inspired because it is a Roman. The glow, like I showed you before, is the older end of a glow, so it's not super great. I found that these regular glow colored ones are a little straighter on average than the pinker ones. I actually have a super special one that is like a transition one that I'll show you. But they tend to have a little less dome. Not no dome, but the dome that I love. Very similar to my Texas Swing ones, which were right here, which I've loved. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the same run. Just, yeah, I mean, it's the same disc. And I've had one of these in my bag for a long time, and it's been absolutely amazing, and it's beaten into be like a Heiser flip-up guy, especially down at sea level. I was just editing the Charlotte video, but these ones are straight with the fade right now, which I love. And surprisingly, the pink ones actually replaced my Halo Roman. It was a little bit beat in Halo, and so I have only have 4 here. I get like 10 discs, I think, for new stamps. These are a little bit more stable. They're a little domier, and I found that they're more stable now. They're probably going to beat in faster than the Halos will, so not too worried about that. But the stamp itself, I really liked the pumpkin head idea, just with kind of like a headless horseman. I showed some pictures to Cobone Art, Kelly. You see that it's designed by him. But I really wanted to do like more special runs. And I've done like a bunch of custom stamps, which I think are fun, and I'll continue to do some of those stuff. But I want to do more like runs of discs, maybe a couple a year, Halloween edition, my normal signature tour series, and then maybe one more. But doing the Metal Flake Glow Roman, they had some of this older stock, and it's been a disc that I've literally been bagging since my Texas Swing stamp came out, and been absolutely loving it and throwing it all over the place. So if you like those straighter discs, and this plastic obviously feels so good, a little bit of gummy, but still nice and stiff. Looks really cool in my opinion. Does have some sort of glow properties, but more so just see that as ambient in my bag when I finish the day with it. Wanted to put the Coliseum in the background, and then other Halloween artifacting, and then Anthony Bodanza Halloween with the little Roman sword and Roman garb with the infinite logo. So I really love this. This is my fancy special one. Little in between, kind of looks like Halo Metal Flake, which is really cool. But that being said, love this guy. Love these Romans. One of my favorite stamps I've ever run. Next up, we have stuff that I bought some stuff that I haven't even opened yet because I just love unboxing everything with you guys, and I should film this sporadically, which would make a lot of sense to do next time. So next time if I get stuff, I'll film stuff, and then I'll film later, and then we'll put it into one video when it's enough stuff. That makes sense. That being said, first thing that I want to open up, I don't know if this is what I bought or what Latitude sent me, but it happened at the same or similar time because I saw something on Instagram that they were coming back with a mold that just looks absolutely insane. It looks like a golf ball almost. And this is not it. This is what they've actually sent me. So scratch that. We'll get back to that in a second. First off, we have the new Latitude 64 Sinus. I'll probably make too many like sinus infection puns, which is a little bit annoying. So they sent me one of the new Sinus in the Optoplastic. This is a 2202 disc. It actually is kind of deep. It's interesting because you look at the profile and you're like, oh, that's like zone-like and whatever. But when you pick it up, it does feel like a putter instead of like a 3 or 4 speed. It feels like it's going to forehand well. It's actually kind of interesting. I think I'm going to go film a Johnny Putter review, and it might come out same day as this. We'll see. Obviously, literally zero promises because baby stuff changes week by week, and it's been crazy to get into, but I would love to do daily videos throughout the rest of October. But we are doing some traveling just for a vacation that my wife had planned before we even got pregnant to go see Taylor Swift in Miami. So who knows if this weekend I'll stop that, but we have the Opto Sinus. We also have the Zero Medium Sinus here. These are new molds. This is such an interesting disc. Very deep. Feels okay. Not good. Not great. But okay. And then forehand feels a little bit better, but it's pretty deep. And then they also sent me one of the old Zero Medium Sinus, which have these little groovy things on them, which are to like give you grip, and I kind of like it. It's interesting that they're bringing back this mold without this, because I feel like this is the gimmick of the mold that makes it something that people would be interested in. But that being said, I mean, this is a very deep approach style disc. Definitely seems, based on how blunt it is and how much it feels like a deeper putter, It seems like it's going to fly like a 2-speed, not very far, not as far as like a zone or something. This is a 4-speed, so it's cool to have an Opto and zero medium. And these, it's a very interesting mold. Main channel review will be coming out for these pretty soon. Next up then, also something I bought, but this is just to support somebody who I really like, that I hope does well in the sport. I think she has lots of prospects. First run of this that she did, perfect. It is the Taylor Chosek. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I should probably figure that out. Her zone. It's a like color shift UV, so once you get into the light, it changes colors. I throw zones. I have an AB zone in the bag right now. I'll probably replace it with this because that'd be sick to use. If it's at all stable. If it's straighter, maybe not. I have a ESP. Well, actually, if it's in between them, that might be good, but it feels good. Feels like a quintessential zone. Got a little puddle top. I think these are run through resistance discs. So if you're in the PNW, do that. But if you want to support her, I think that's where he snagged these. Yeah, pretty cool. I snagged this one just to support her. Probably go in the bag for funsies. We'll check it out. But no review on it. It was just, this is something to unbox, so might as well unbox it. One more box down the drain. Next up, Latitude 64 thing that I purchased to review a while back. I probably should have just wait for them to reach out to me about the CNS, and I could have just seen if they could throw this in there as well. Maybe not, though. They're a bigger company. They got bigger fish to fry than little old me. And this is like the golf ball-ish disc. It's called the Retin Opto Hex. Very interesting plastic. I got it in 2 different colors just to kind of see how it is. Oh my, what? Oh, this is interesting. Okay, I have to figure this out. It's dimpled. Kind of like you would see on a golf thingy. It's like dimpled, but then the same little areas for your thumb are not dimpled. So this is just smooth, which is like, I guess that gives you a couple options for grip. You can either go on the dimpling right there, or the non-dimpling right there, and kind of see which one you prefer. So this is so interesting. I got the pink one because they had 2 colors of them, and I got the yellow one right here, which this is so interesting. It's just like little micro bubbles, and then it is on the rim down here, but it's not on the bottom flight plate. So they're both max weight. I think they're supposed to be like 14.5, -3.2, and they look flippy. I don't know if the dimpling is literally going to change anything. It would be cool to have a control Rakuten that didn't have that. So maybe, I don't know, I can't do that. I was thinking maybe I'd put some glue on the top of it and close the pores, and I'm like, I'm not smart enough or savvy enough to be able to do that. But this is super interesting that it has that dimpling. I don't know what it does for golf balls. So before I review them, I'll have to figure that out and talk about it, because this is such an interesting technology. And there are older Rakutens. This is an old mold that they brought back. And my buddy Jesse, who owns Trash Panda, has a bunch of weirdo discs. So I'm going to see if he has one of these, and if I can borrow it to check out the older ones, and then just kind of see how this fly and how they're new and weird. I don't know if they're only on Infinite or only on Latitude, or if Infinite has any, but super interesting mold here that I don't know what to think about fully. It's cool feeling. I'm a sensory person. This like is happy for my ADHD. I like having this to like, it feels better than normal disc, just like move your hands around on. I wonder how it's gonna like catch dust and grime, especially being in Denver where it's a little bit more sandy. But you got that little grip area. I don't know. I'm excited to throw it, and I also need to figure out what Rakuten means, because I don't know. But it probably has something to do with spaceships. These feel so weird. These feel almost more like toys than discs because of that dimpling feeling. Not because of the plastic feeling bad or anything, but like you pick it up and you're like, oh, that's a toy. But it's not, it's a disc. Okay, that's going to be exciting to review. So far, 2 main channel reviews, both Latitude things, and then the Taylor disc. Next up is something that, oh, yes, I cannot wait. Discraft sent me out, and I have not taken off the labels yet, so I don't want to be doxxed, so I got to do that real fast. Actually, you don't need to see me actually physically open the box. I know that's a lot of the fun, but I don't want to dox myself, unfortunately. Boop. Give me some goodies. Woo! I love when companies send out notes. It makes my life easier. Get ready for the spookiest buzz yet. If you want to pause and read that, you can, but I'm going to read it to you probably. So, this year marks the first time we're adding a triple foil design alongside the iconic single foil and supercolor buzz. Supercolor being where like the whole top is a color. No, I don't think I have that buzz anymore. Do I even have a buzz? Chris Dickerson. I only have 1 buzz right now. Well, I'm glad I have a couple more buzzes, because I think they were good discs. I didn't like the feel of them, but Let's see what I like now. Inspired by the eerie essence of the afterlife, this release promises to add some mystic flair to your collection. These will be available October 11th at Discraft. At infinitediscs.com. Local retailers and special selection will be individually listed on our factory store. Your review and first impressions are invaluable, and we appreciate you sharing the excitement and audience ahead of launch. So I got these probably before October 11th, and now, if you look at the date, it is after October 11th. That being said, we're probably going to do a banana prop video on these here pretty soon because they look sweet. Oh, this is cool. Single foil, ESP looking guy. It's got like Beetlejuice, I believe, is what this character is. I've never seen Beetlejuice. I'm not a horror guy, you know. If you couldn't believe it from my disposition, I'm not a scary movie kind of guy. Oh, the more times I put the buzz in my hand, the more times I like how it feels. It's just the buzz, you know. And then I can't. They hooked it up with this one. Look at this. This is so my style. This pink and black, love it. This one's a little domier too. I don't know if they're supposed to be different. I don't know if they're ESP glow. They're likely ESP glow. Let me see if I can see if they are. Yes, they are. So you can see that little glow. This might be just about as good glow as my Romans. It's sticking around. I can see it a little bit. Okay, when you turn it down, I can see it. These are what the Romans are glowing like. They glow way better initially, and they kind of die out really fast. No, honestly, it seems to be a pretty similar vibe, where ESP is not a see-through plastic, so you probably wouldn't anticipate that it would be very glowy, but these are sick. Definitely going to be throwing probably a reel together with these, and then probably something here on this channel for these buzzes. I don't really throw buzzes much, but interesting that one of these has the 176 grams embossed, and the other one has it here on the side, 175, 176. So it's cool that they're going this way. It's better because these always come off sometimes for me, and sometimes they just like are on at the beginning of the round and then gone, and I'm like, wait a second, I just littered. And so glad to see that. The buzz feels good. I don't know why it feels good for me now, and it never has before, but it doesn't feel bad. Super pumped about those. Big shout out to Discraft. Thank you very, very much. Next up, what is this from? Ooh, I know what this is from. This is from my buddy, Catmac. Also my buddy, Drew Gibson. Big shout out to him for Monday qualifying and for getting top 10, meaning that he has an exemption into next year's USCGC. Because the cool thing about USCGC and why it's super prestigious, it's funny, I actually got this comment. I don't know. It's fun to see the range of people who like are involved in disc golf who watch some of my videos, because in my USDGC video, some of the comments were like, okay, this isn't that prestigious. It's not a playoff or a major. And it's like, well, it's cool that like, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but playoffs are not prestigious, except for that they are playoffs. USDGC is literally a major. Or he said it's not a playoff for Worlds. It's like, yeah, well, it's not Worlds. Worlds is just one of the 4 majors. And so for somebody to put like playoffs ahead of majors, or maybe not even know what majors are, is so interesting to me, because USDGC being the only tournament that every single person has to qualify through their play for, like European Open, Champions Cup, those ones, you do have to qualify through your play, but they always let in people based on ratings in order to bet the purse. USDGC, you have to qualify to get in. So only one where that is like absolutely mandatory, which is super cool. So, it's just interesting to see the full range of people for that to be the case for. This coming back to Drew Gibson. Congratulations to him for getting that exemption. That being said, he's got a couple new discs on his company, Finish Line, that are going to be coming out soon, and I cannot wait to test them out. Sent them over, all team stamped. Clutch, I'm not on Team Finish Line right now, but hey, maybe something we can work out for next year. Ooh, okay. I'm super, super excited. This is the Sector, which is a mid-range, and this plastic is the best composite plastic I think I've ever felt from Finish Line. That is awesome. Where is this guy? I have a Glow Supra, composite glow, but still composite. Actually feels pretty similar, but something about this just feels a little sleeker in the hand. The Supra was meant to be that straight kind of buzzer placement disc, and it just kind of wasn't. It was a little bit more understable from what I found. This Sector is a little rounder than the Supra. Sector here is on the left. Let me zoom you in so you can see this a little bit better. But this is the Sector here, and it's a little, okay, chill out. It's a little bit rounder than the Supra is. Why does it love my chest so much? Maybe it's because of the color. Okay, we'll try this. I'm so sorry. But, dude, come on, let's go. Yeah, there we go. No, it's not. Okay. I don't know, my chest hair is so captivating to my camera right now. There we go. So you can see there's a slight difference. What? just gonna have to trust me, I guess. My camera's being a little bit of a hater, but this is a little blockier than the Sector, and the Sector looks almost like a 2.0 version of the Supra, in my opinion, where instead of having a little bit flatter transition from the flight plate to the rim, it's a little bit more rounded, and honestly it feels very good. I'm interested to see the stability on them, because mid-ranges are something that I just do not have figured out right now, and I'd love to find something good. And this is the best feeling plastic I felt from Finish Line yet. I haven't not liked a lot of the other plastics. I've loved the Forge Interval down here. I love the flatter one, slightly flatter than this one. So I have a white one right here this is the Era as well. This Glow Era also feels very good. And those plastics feel nice, but something about this Sector specifically, it feels absolutely incredible. So I'm gonna have to mess around with this, because if this is kind of what I want my Pathfinder to be, that straight pushing with some fade at the end if I need to, or maybe if I hit it really hard, a little pop-up hyzer flip, I could see myself really liking this disc. So that's really cool. This is the first time I've even seen the profiles of these or held them in my hands. Yeah, this green and purple looks incredible. And so this disc, I'm actually really excited to throw. It looks really, really nice. So I think I might do a full Finish Line review and really highlight these. And then this is the Chicane, which is kind of like a Zone-ish replacement disc. I really like what Drew's doing with this company. He's kind of trying to make his whole bag his own company, which makes a lot of sense. This one, the Chicane, is an interesting name. I have no idea what it means. I'll probably figure that out before I film a review. But the side profile of this, does it look like a Zone? Let's see. Zone, A5 kind of style disc. He says it's straighter than a Zone. It does look very similar to a Zone, but it looks ever so slightly like this is a little bit more angled, whereas the Zone is a little bit more blunt, ever so slightly. Very, very similar though. Here's the A5 to compare it against. It's not nearly as puddle top, and the A5 is rounder, so I think the A5 is going to be more understable than the Chicane. And this is, it feels nice on the forehand. The one interesting thing is I feel like the weight feels very evenly distributed in this disc, which some people like, some people don't. I honestly think, I'll have to throw it obviously to see, but it kind of reminds me of the Drop because of that. Because the Drop, this still feels like there's more weight around the rim than there is on the flight plate, but it's more similar to this. This feels like it's very evenly distributed, where there's still some heft to the flight plate, but it's not overly stiff. There's still some give. So I'm interested to see kind of how it flies, and if you can really tell that in the flight at all. They feel good. This is the best feeling Finish Line plastic I've ever felt. This, honestly, I think is on par with any other company's best plastic right now. It feels very, very good. Almost like a Jolly Launcher style from Innova's Champion is what this feels like right now. Very nice. With a little tackiness. Okay, I didn't know what to expect from that at all. Drew has not really told me anything about them. I haven't really asked Marcus about them. He just reached out and said, hey, you want to check them out and review them? This is the most excited I've ever been to throw anything Finish Line. They both seem like discs that I would be interested in bagging. And they're a little flat. They're not puddle topped. People like puddle top zones. But this is just dead flat, which is, I think, how Drew likes them a lot. And I honestly really like these Team Finish Line stamps. They look really clean. Not on the team. I'm not trying to tease anything. I'm just actually really excited about this. And then obviously, I like Drew a lot. So it's cool to be reviewing those. One more. Last one. Another smaller company that I'm excited to be reviewing. They sent me something to finally round out their lineup, as they've had to change their co-manufacturer. This is from Hooligan Discs. And it is the new infamous Yeet. The Yeet is back. I think they're now being made by Gateway. Let's see how the plastic feels. Oh, feels like a bomber. Oh, interesting. It's a little bit more blunt on the edge than I would expect, to be honest with you. Right here. The edge is not as bladed as I would think. I don't have an older Yeet to compare it to. All of my Hooligans in my car because I'm planning on reviewing it. But it feels good. The dome is really nice. It feels fast. I think I would like to see a little more bladedness here. Just personally, in looking at it, I'm not throwing it yet. But that's the only hiccup I can see in the mold overall, if it is even a hiccup. It very much could not be. I do like how clean the stamp looks. This plastic feels very good coming out of Gateway. I do like the new Hooligan ghost stamping on in there. So, really solid lineup. Oh, I have one more thing I totally forgot about. But, yeah, I'm excited to add this to the lineup, and then I'll do a full Hooligan review. I did Hooligan way back when they were being manufactured by Lone Star, and now that they have a new manufacturing partner, I'm excited to review them again and check out their full lineup, because I haven't thrown the dime and I've barely thrown the cash. So now that I have a yeet to add to everything, I'm excited to get out there. This is a lot of stuff to review, and then there's one more thing still, but the finish line stuff is going to be sweet. This is honestly the best feeling plastic of the day out of all these. The disc it most reminds me of is the Clash Discs Cherry. Don't know if I have one of those. Nope, that's a berry and a guava. I don't have a cherry. Sorry about that. But it reminds me of the cherry the most because it's a little bit bladed and fast looking. Feels very nice. Got the yeet, obviously. ESP Halloween buzzes. Arguably the much better Halloween disc. The Bodanza Roman, obviously. And then Taylor's Zone, the Retin, and the Cenis, where we'll be doing a Johnny Putter review. Pumped about that. And the last thing, I don't even know what to do, but the Dyers Guild sent me a kit, the gold kit. And so there's a bunch of stuff inside, which I want to open up and check out, but I am going to be dyeing discs at some point. I asked Infinite a while back for some discs to dye, so I have some Romans and some Pharaohs, and there's a bunch of other random discs that we can try to dye stuff, but I would love to dye stuff, so I'm going to be getting in contact with the Dyers Guild, and they're going to walk me through this a little bit. But let's real quick just kind of pop it open. I've heard of the Dyers Guild. I've seen them at some tournaments that I went and played, but I don't really know fully what they're all about. So let's pop this open and see what's in here. Well, a lot of stuff. Is this all dye, or is this... Okay, this is bottles for dye. Wait, is the dye here? Okay, here's the bottles. Thank you for your disc dyeing journey. This is cool. Those like little magic cleaner things always get my hands with my sensory stuff. But Q-tips and droppers and straw. This is really everything you think you need. Disposable syringe. Oh, and these seem to be the dyes. So maybe you have to mix the dyes with water, which would make a lot of sense. Powder would travel much cheaper because it's so much less weight than adding water to it. Squeegee, I think. Dye gloves. Ooh, metal tweezers. Ah, there's a lot of good stuff in here. It probably all shows it on the front, and I just didn't read it. But oh, a little trivet for your disc, I believe. And then a dye pan, which I think you put the disc in. Wow, okay. Oh, and then there's dye formulas for base mediums. Super cool. What dye methods work? Okay, this is sick. We're going to have to dive into this a little deeper. There's funnels, too, and there's things you can... Oh, man, there's a lot in here. We're going to have to dive into it. Super excited about it.
All right, so I just got back from a trip to Florida, which ended up being absolutely insane. I was going to get this video up before I left, and then I couldn't even... I mean, it was honestly for my wife to go to Taylor Swift, which was awesome, because we'd actually bought the tickets before we got pregnant, and now I'm like... next to my beautiful little 10-week-old, was able to kind of mostly just be there so that she could go on that trip, which ended up being incredible. I just wasn't able to do very, very, very little work, and I thought I'd have a little more energy and time, but baby girl wanted to just like sleep on people. So this video is still to go up, so we're attacking on to the biggest unboxing ever with this bad boy, which is my requested discs from Infinite for future reviews. Interestingly, my wife's going to be going back to work sooner, and something that is wrong with the stupid brain up here is how it likes to work right now, which is very scarcity based. I need to do a lot of work on that, but I have a harder time, like with my wife not working as well, feeling like I always have to be on for like a bunch of different things instead of like, okay, now I have a shift with the baby. Now I have a shift of work. I haven't really felt like I have full shifts of work recently, even though my wife has not been working. So I should feel like I have more. It's been very odd. That being said, should be getting a lot more content up soon on both of the channels, creating and figuring out better routines as I learn more about how to navigate the world now as a dad, and we got some goodies. So first off, yes, we have the James Proctor Crux, which has just come out. Love James, honestly. Seeing him kind of break out this season and just, I mean, he did it last season and he did it more this season. It's just cool to see how good he is as one of the best players in the world. I've heard some people say that they think this is just kind of like a Pathfinder with a bead. I don't know if I necessarily see that fully. It looks a little more beveled, but it's a little shallower than I expected for this style of mid-range. It's supposed to be like 5502, I believe. I really like this release. Really pretty. Cannot wait to throw these. Oh man, they came out so good. Nebula Aura for the Cruxes. This is flat and this is a little bit of dome. They're both pretty similar though. It's a little deep, but overall feels really good. As a mid, I'm excited to kind of see what it compares to. It seems like it's kind of like a Rock 3, Rock X3, Inca, more stable than that, but I don't know. Feels really good, obviously made by MVP. That's a big win. Next up, similar vein, probably review these together. The Nuance from Hot Space as well. These are the Lucky Luke Lorenzen Ethos Nuance. 7-speed, kind of flippy. I'm really excited to throw these and see kind of what they look like. Kind of looks a little bit like a drift. I know that Streamline is one of the main flagship companies from MVP, so it's probably not a drift, but it's a flippy 7-speed. Only thing I could maybe think is like a domey version of like a Dreamweaver from Jester Disc, so I'll have to see if that's a similar mold because that's a flippy 7-speed, and I don't think that this was in the lineup for Thought Space before. They've had the Vodum, which some people have equated to the Grackle, even though the flight numbers are different. Some people have asked if this is similar to a Taco. So if anyone has a Taco from Mint Discs, I would or Taco Cat or whatever, I would love to borrow it or at least have someone send me some really in-depth pictures of it or a video so that I can review it against one another. But this is a kind of flippier 7-speed and it feels pretty good. This is honestly, flippy 7-speed is one of the categories of discs that I think is a little bit under the radar because it is very controllable, as it's just like you throw it slow and it has easy flip up. It's a little bit easier to get up to speed than like even my Sphinx, like a 9-speed. So it's just easy to get there. But this feels a little chunky, like a little like thicker around the edges and very, I don't know, that kind of makes it feel pretty good just because I think that'll make it even slower. So I don't want something like this to be crazy fast because the faster it is, the harder it is to control sometimes for slower arm speeds. And so this actually feels like it's going to be a really good flyer for a lot of people. So also Stamp came out really, really nice. I got to get out of the way so you can see it fully, but really like how this came out. So shout out to James and Lucky for these drops. Really excited to be reviewing this Thought Space. Next up, we have what the Doomsday Retina Chemtrail. This is from Doomsday Discs. What in the world? Okay, dude, Doomsday, I might have to like legit bag Doomsday because this stuff feels so good. Oh, Doomsday Fatal Blackout. A Fatal Blackout. We got another Mushbutt stamp, of course. I think they were doing like a Halloween run of these, so I was seeing if I can get one of those. I don't know if I have any of those, unfortunately. It does not look like it. Dang. These plastics actually look really cool, and they feel pretty good. It definitely feels a little bit like a step slightly below most of the premium plastics from most of the bigger companies, but still like very good feeling plastic. This is so cool that this just kind of comes out stock like that. I don't exactly know how the injection process works for something like this, but this will probably be going on a Banana Prop video. I should definitely keep these on here. Blackout, I really like the Blackout though. I remember loving this mold. It's like a flippy 8-speed. Very similar to the reasons I love this is when I love this when I first reviewed it. That was my favorite Doomsday mold for a while. And then this is the Retina Chemtrail, which feels even flippier. And this almost looks like it has a similar injection process to MVP. I don't think this is MVP molded, but the injection molding process, if you look at it on the edges here, has these little insertion points. There's way more of them than there are on MVP, but when you're like molding a disc or making a disc, typically there would be like a sprue point on the bottom here where it's injected, and there also looks like there is one there. So I don't really know how this was made, but it's pretty interesting and cool. So got some Doomsday fun goodies, which I cannot wait to mess around with. And then these are kind of from a bag, kind of just to see kind of how they fly. But the new run of Halo Emperors, they're out. Go snag these on Infinite. Go snag everything that I have linked here on Infinite. But this is the new run of Halo Emperors. They look nice. Oh, they look like a great run of Emps. This one looks a little better than this one, in my opinion. A little domier, a little more of that Anheuser top, meaning I'll see if I can show you what people mean when they say Anheuser top. But if you see, okay, I'm gonna have to really crank this up real fast. Sorry about ya. But when you're looking at it, if you see kind of there's this little divot here. So it goes from the wing and then a little divot and then the dome. I don't know exactly what that is, but people love that and they call it an Anheuser top. And it should make it more glidey but still have overstability, I think, from what I understand. But yeah, this feels super good. Not a lot of bubbling in the rim. Yeah, I mean, get some Halo amps. I need more of these because I don't have a lot of good stable ones. I don't know. These don't feel crazy overstable. These feel more like control or like almost more bomber style overstable. This one even flippier feeling. But like feels, yeah, they have more Halo Emperors. So if you're looking for Halo Emperors, which very similar to Halo Destroyers, check them out. See you guys in a second. Here, you want to watch me do this? Baby Bogey is just so curious, so I put her over there so she can watch. Next up, we have some goodies from Clash Discs. Also, big shout out. I mean, of course I love Infinite, but just they always hook it up to send me 2 of each, which just makes my life so much easier as a reviewer. We have the Wild Honey in the new Steady Ring plastic. This actually, surprisingly, I remember when I made my last Clash video, I was very surprised at the pricing on some of these discs because these are just normal premium plastic prices. For Clash has some of the plastic that feels the best on the market, like by far, like the best runs of Royal and Supreme Orbit plastics from Latitude and Dynamic. This actually has a little bit of, I see a little bit of left on, like pieces where they just kind of missed the flashing on that one. Everything else feels good though, so that's a win. But we have 2 of their molds. We have the Millet, which again, flippy 7-speed. I don't know, this is kind of making a little comeback. This seems like way flippy and way domey. So gonna be more interesting than the Nuance, I think. Like flippier wise, like way flippier. Almost kind of maybe like an Ascend from Streamline, which is like a flippy 6-speed, but this might be like a -3 one at a 7-speed, which is gonna be interesting to review. Both max weight, 177, meaning it's probably a little wider diameter, but the Millet is a new disc from Clash Discs that I'll probably also review alongside these Wild Honeys because I think these are like $23.99 or something. And for a very, very premium plastic, that's a good price, especially for a company that is known for their very, very expensive prices. Like they had discs that were like $29.99, $34.99. And part of that is just they're coming out of Finland. And that is, yeah, that's interesting. Clash, I really like. I'd be interested in, I have some ideas actually that I think would work very well with their brand and my brand, named around foods. What is millet? Is that just like grain? Like the milled down grain? Small seeded grass. There you go. That's a millet. Okay, that's exciting. This will get reviewed. I have so much to review. I'm so pumped to be able to review it and get back to just so much more normal videos. I also love that the weather is getting a little cooler, so maybe some hoodies and some goodies coming out soon. But 2 more big things. First, the Kastaplast iDog. 7.5, -0.52. Yeah, if someone would like to let me know the correct Swedish pronunciation of this so that I don't butcher it every time that I'm reviewing it, please do. I'm going to try to post this video like today as I'm recording. So let me know pronunciations if you need. But this is T-Bird-ish. It's something that Kastaplast has not had. This is actually the only Kastaplast disc besides the Berg that I just bought to review against the range that I own right now. I had gotten rid of all my discs at the end of last year, and I'm recreating my collection of everything so that I have a bunch of discs. But this is the only Kasta non-Berg that I have, and it is, I mean, it looks really good. It looks pretty fast, pretty stable, like very workable, like what I would love my strikes to be, but almost probably a little more consistent and available because the strikes are not available, and it's rounded over on the bottom. Yeah, I mean, this feels like a disc I'd like to throw. It feels stable, like I'm not, this doesn't feel like a disc I'm gonna just pop up. It feels like a disc I'm gonna throw flat and get a little drift, or throw an Anheuser and let it fight to finish. So that's fun. Last but not least, what you've all been waiting for, more than likely. This video is probably like 35 minutes long. That's pretty crazy. But we have the MVP releases. Oh yeah, this is gonna be sick. I have the Flying Thrills Boulder, Colorado Fission Pyro for Eagle McMahon. This thing looks so nice. I don't have a pyro to compare it to, but it feels a little less overstable than any other pyro that I've ever picked up, just based on the parting line height and where that one's sitting. But I think this is going to be a really, really, really nice feeling disc. A little bit of dome, so pretty interesting. 178, so pretty max weight. Next up we have the premium pixel. I have a ton of pixels, so I'll probably be putting with pixels in this. Yep, because those are not base plastic. But this is a Eclipse pixel, first premium plastic pixel, and it does feel very good. You know, something that I have, unfortunately, I think I have to come to terms with is I don't think I'm going to be a watt guy anymore. It's pretty sad. It's a sad day, but I loved it, and I like it on one angle, and that angle is big, sweeping, pushing hyzer. I just don't get the same drift that I might want and finish. I don't know. It's a great disc. I just don't know if it's going to be for me, unfortunately. So I'm excited to throw this pixel. It's probably not as flippy as something I would actually put in the bag for that slot, because I have some envies I can do a lot, and then I just want kind of like almost like that putter that Ezra Robinson was throwing all the time at the Tour Championship. That's kind of what I'm looking for. But this has a good dome. Feels so nice. Don't really know if I'd forehand it ever, but the roundness on the top of the shoulder surprisingly fits my hand well, because it's a little deep. But this is the Massachusetts version, obviously, for Simon Lizotte. I got to show you these stamps because they came out looking really good. Very consistent. Honestly, not a lot of I don't think I'd be able to recognize the stamp based off of the disc, because they're all Tour of Terror or whatever. And they're not, this might be the only one that I'm like, oh, I can definitely recognize. The other ones, they kind of all blend together, though, surprisingly, artwork-wise. But I think they are cool if you take the extra second to look at them. This is the, even the Mothman, James Conrad. Is this a Detour? Please be a Detour. Yes, dude. I haven't thrown a Detour in so long. I know, you want me to throw a Detour too, Bogey, don't you? Bogey wants me to throw a Detour, but I haven't thrown a Detour in forever. Honestly, feels very Hex-like. But this is gonna, this lineup, man, I'm gonna go shred a course. It's so good. And then the last one, big. Silva Saarinen, Oiti Finland. Death of the Wave. So this is a wave, Eclipse wave. So yeah, I'm gonna take these to a course, just these 4 discs. We're gonna have a grand old time. Bessie's probably gonna sponsor that video because it's MVP and MVP does well, and I want to put my sponsors on videos that I know do well. And also, I think Bessie's are the best shoes ever for disc golf. So I'll leave those linked down below as well if you want to snag them. This is a great thing to be coming home to. Lots of reviews in the works. Stuff that you've seen has probably already been filmed because I just didn't have time to edit it from earlier in this video. But, gosh, thank you, Infinite. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Go snag everything on Infinite, including my signature goodies. I gotta go make sure that Bogey doesn't give me a double bogey and a diaper.